Am I the jerk for calling my girlfriend psychotic for believing her dolls were alive? My girlfriend and I are both in our mid-20s. She brought me to her childhood home. She has tons of stuffed dolls and animals. Like a ton. She got really excited in seeing her childhood toys and quickly started explaining to me how she named each one and remembered almost all of them still. She and her mom had hand-sewn clothing for each of her stuffed animals, and she'd put old bracelets as jewelry on them. She was super happy to see them again and explained to me how she would make up backstories for all of them as a kid, and they all had unique personalities and families. She jokingly said she believed they were real because of Toy Story. This was all so much, and I jokingly said, "You were psychotic as a child." But I guess my tone sounded rather serious. She got offended immediately. She said that she was a normal child and she just liked to play. I tried to just say it was just a joke, but she got really upset at me and stormed off. Now I feel like a jerk. Am I the jerk? The OP clearly knows that she's joking, but he didn't convey that he knew that she was joking when he started joking back with her. So that's probably why she was so offended, because she told him this thing that she probably thought he would think was sweet or cute or interesting, and he just thought that she was psychotic, and she probably actually thinks that he thinks that she is psychotic because his tone, even the way he admits it, was serious. I think what happens sometimes in situations like these is when somebody you care about opens up and shows a vulnerable side of themselves, whether it's a story about their past or it's something that they're showing you that has to do with their past or something that's important to them. I think that there's a little bit of a moment of extra sensitivity that would be there when it wouldn't be applied to other scenarios. And in this case, this whole doll thing is obviously important to her. So even if his tone would normally seem like he's joking, it was probably not interpreted as that, even more so due to her being somewhat vulnerable by sharing all of this with him. But let me know what you would do if you're in this situation, and jerk or not a jerk, and why. Am I the jerk for calling my academic girlfriend a trophy wife as a joke? My girlfriend of 5 years, Clara, who's 25 years old, and I, a 26-year-old, both attend the same university. I'm finishing up the final parts of my STEM BSCs, computer science, working on mobile application development, and she's in her third year of studying for a doctorate in humanities and will get her PhD in September. It's a university city, so politically active, and Clara is active there. She does a lot of organizing, demos and protests, etc. FYI, we align the same politically, so this isn't an issue. I'm just describing what she does. If you know computer science dudes, you all know that we like to joke around a lot. Last year, I had to repeat classes and was with students a few years below me who saw photos of me and Clara on my phone background. Clara is objectively very pretty, and it's something I can be insecure of, so I jokingly said she was my trophy wife and made some dumb blonde type jokes about her being, quote, no thoughts, empty head, and, quote, proof you're either pretty or you are smart. If you know guys, you know inside jokes, and my trophy wife became a meme in the STEM underclasses. My friends even made me a mug that said every developer needs a trophy wife. But last week I took Clara to a mutual party and the computer science underclassmen were there. They straight away started joking about finally meeting the trophy wife, and she got offended and said something snippy like, "You know I'm doing a PhD and organized X strike to pressure the college for money for your department, right?" I know this as I had told her about the issue, so she pressured the college. My friend was sloshed, and he laughed at her and said he didn't know that, but a degree in computer science is worth more than, quote, reading books and acting like MLK, Martin Luther King. And to my horror, my friend who was sloshed then said something like, "Yeah, you were right, she is a trophy wife." Clara, who is mixed race, seemed to take offense at the first statement, but left the group and ignored me totally. At home, she rounded on me, and I immediately said, "Sorry, the MLK comment was wrong. I'll speak to him." She said to forget that and asked me WTF I meant by a trophy wife. I explained the backstory a bit badly as I was sloshed myself. She asked why I didn't defend her from the comments about her degree, but I said everyone thinks their course is the best and she shouldn't overreact. fact, she told me I was an absolute jerk and she gave me the cold shoulder until now. I feel like a jerk because I didn't think she'd be annoyed by the trophy wife jokes. She is aware that she's pretty and is confident about it, so I don't know why she's reacting badly. I accept the MLK comment was rude and my friend apologized the next day, but the trophy wife stuff was just jokes. Most people in her community knows her well. She never interacts with STEM students, and STEM, by the way, I think stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So I didn't think their jokes mattered. Maybe this is an academia thing I don't know about since I'm aiming to work in an industry. If this is messed up, I want to apologize, but I can't see how this was more than a joke gone sour. So am I the jerk? There is a lot of people that have a lot to say about this, but one of the most upvoted response to this whole thing was, I came into this thinking, oh, this is probably an inside joke that went wrong, but holy cow, dude, you are the jerk. You are so very much the jerk. You ridiculed your girlfriend behind her back in order to score bro points to the point that you opened her up to get publicly blindsided with some terrible, humiliating comments, and you didn't even have the spine to defend her in the moment. Yeah, I know that we all get caught off guard sometimes, but it's really telling that you didn't hesitate to open your mouth when you were running her down, but somehow clammed right up when your buddy took a really nasty pot shot at her. Quoting the section where he says, maybe this is an academia thing I don't know about since I'm aiming to work in an industry. Oh, please don't play dumb. Don't run your partner down to your friends isn't some mystical theoretical concept you need a couple of PhDs to understand, and you know it. I think this comment summarizes a lot of the major points of what went wrong here very, very concisely. I mean, this whole idea of the bro points thing is actually a better, more clear picture of what I was thinking while I was going through this, and that's pretty much exactly what it was. He was trying to score bro points by, I guess, being relatable or being funny or whatever you want to call it at the expense of her. And if it was just that, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad, but it's really kind of a put down, basically trying to imply that what she's majoring in, what she wants to do in her life has no value and doesn't even compare to computer science. And maybe it doesn't make nearly as much money, but it doesn't mean that it's invalid or it's not important. I mean, the girlfriend has to defend herself here by saying, well, all of my unimportant stuff is what gave your department funding, but they don't seem to value that either. And by they, I mean this whole group of underclassmen. This guy just seems like he wanted to impress this group of younger students, but in some weird way is maybe intimidated by them and tries to blame it on, oh, I don't understand on this part of culture, academia, where this is a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if this type of thing ended up fracturing the relationship. Maybe not this particular time, but if it happened repeatedly, I don't know how else this would end other than a fractured relationship, because she probably feels like she can't trust this guy to have a backbone in any situation because he wants to seem cool or not get embarrassed, whatever the situation is, but all at her expense. So let me know what you would do if you're in this situation, and do you think the OP was the jerk or not? Am I the jerk for reporting a new coworker to human resources? I'm a 28-year-old male and I work for a state agency that is designed to protect the lives of people with disabilities. I work as an administrative assistant for one of the departments. I struggle with PTSD, severe depression, and anxiety. I have panic attacks and seizures, but I am on medication to help with the seizures. I have a service dog, Dakota, who is a German Shepherd. He does wear the vest at all times, and work was very happy to accommodate him. Everyone in the building has their own cubicle, and I specifically asked for one where I am on the end as they are more private. I am in the office about 2 days a week and telecommute the rest. My department recently hired Taylor, a 27-year-old female. Taylor's cubicle is right next to mine and was asked if I could train her. She came over to my cubicle to ask a question and saw Dakota was laying down near me. She scrunched up and says, I don't like dogs at all. Just make sure that your dog does not come near me. I apologized and I explained that I needed him in the office but would keep distance. Another coworker asked if they could speak with me in private, and they let me know that Taylor has been spreading rumors about me and my fake service dog. I told them that I would talk to her privately. I talked to her at her cubicle while Dakota waited at my desk, and she told me that she was going to put a report into HR, human resources, about me faking a service dog. dog. I sent a report to Human Resources and explained everything that happened. Taylor has been giving me dirty looks in the office, and a few coworkers have told me that she is feeling uncomfortable with the work environment. Am I the jerk for reporting a new coworker to Human Resources? What would make Taylor think that it's a fake service dog? There's nothing in here that would make it seem like this dog is a fake service dog, so the only conclusion we can really draw is that Taylor is vindictively just claiming that it's a fake service dog without knowing anything about it because she doesn't like dogs at all and it's making her feel uncomfortable. I think the more honest thing would be to say exactly that. I don't know if it's a fake service dog. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm really uncomfortable around dogs. Is there any way I can move to the complete opposite end of the building or any other accommodations? Because maybe Human Resources could have a solution for that rather than claiming that it's a fake service dog. That just seems so weird to me. It's a weird strategy when there's another strategy that is completely legitimate right in front of everyone's eyes. I mean, the dog is already approved by the company, so Taylor has to assume that the company has vetted at least to some degree that this dog is legitimate. But let me know what you would do if you're in this situation, and jerk or not a jerk. Am I the jerk for getting a house condemned? My dad let my cousin, his wife, and 5 kids live in his home in Kentucky since April of 2020. Before they lived there, this home was mainly rented out as a cabin or Airbnb for tourists. My dad went home for Christmas and was shocked at the state of the home. It was falling apart. He and my mom can't discuss the property because when they do, it turns into a huge fight. I grabbed my sister, who's a lawyer, and I head to Kentucky for this nightmare. We haven't been back there in years. We get a local inspector to come to the property and my cousin is like, this is our home, and wouldn't let us in. We had to get a judge to intervene on our behalf and have my dad fly out. The property is now being condemned for its rodent-infested damages. My dad has to bulldoze the property and sell the land. My cousin and his family are going to be homeless. My grandma is crying almost every day, but she doesn't have the means to house my cousin. His parents don't, and my family are not after the damages he has done. I don't care that he has nowhere to live. I told my cousin if he couldn't feed them, he shouldn't breed them. And good luck, because I'm sure the government will help you out. My dad's family thinks that we are heartless jerks, but grown adults should be able to raise their kids. It's not my fault they decided to have so many. Because of my dad's generosity, aka stupidity, my parents' marriage is falling apart. This story is a little bit confusing. So this cabin was an Airbnb and now it's being condemned? Are they saying that his cousin, his wife, and his 5 kids destroyed the property to the point where it needs to be totally bulldozed because of this whole rodent infestation? I mean, that must be what he's trying to say without saying it directly. Maybe it's just through implication that's what you're supposed to get here. Or maybe there was already rodent infestation during the time it was an Airbnb, but it didn't get so bad until this point where it had to be inspected and bulldozed. But the one thing I can tell here is there's a lot of backstory that seems to be missing because the OP is very against his cousin and his wife and their kids, and he's kind of shaming them for having kids, or at least as many kids, and it feels like he's blaming all of this on them. I can definitely see why the 2 parents would be getting into fights about this all the time. Maybe the dad wanted to let the whole cousin's family move in and the mom didn't, and if they're saying that the cousin's family is responsible for this rodent damage, then maybe the wife is thinking, hey, I told you so. This cabin cost us our whole life savings and now it's being totally destroyed. Let me know what you make of this situation down below, and jerk or not a jerk, and why. Am I the jerk for not participating in my fiance's hobby of the occult and witches? I'm a 27-year-old male and my fiance is a 26-year-old female. We are happily engaged and can't wait to spend our lives together. We have a lot of the same hobbies that we enjoy doing together. We do a lot of outdoor activities and play video games together. The one hobby that I'm trying to understand is that she and her friends participate in is witches and the occult. She's got some tattoos and has a travel kit that she brings everywhere we go. She even tried to get my parents to sit down and show them spells. They now think she is crazy and are worried about her. She has been trying to learn new spells and keeps pestering me about joining in. I told her that I had no intention of wanting to participate. She gets upset and says Lori's boyfriend participated once and is now an active member. Why can't you try it out for me? I snapped and said, listen, I don't want to participate in this hobby. I don't want to do spells. She grabbed some of her stuff and left the apartment. So, am I the jerk for for not participating in my fiance's hobby. This doesn't sound like a hobby. This sounds like something much more serious than a hobby. And also, how did he not know this was the case before they got engaged to each other? I mean, this is a pretty difficult thing to try and hide. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe he knew this the whole time and thought that she would never want to involve him in this whole thing. I've never really heard of something like this only being a hobby. Usually it's a religion or a lifestyle or something beyond. But I mean, if there is a way to make this a hobby, then the OP should probably have told her a long time ago that he doesn't feel comfortable with this and explained his thoughts on it long before they got engaged. Unless this is something that just popped up out of nowhere, but I think if it was, he probably would have mentioned that. She absolutely has the right to believe in and care about whatever she wants, but somehow they're so far off being on the same page, it's very odd. Someone else in response actually said that people can be in a committed relationship with different religious beliefs, but they need to respect each other's. What the fiancé is doing is equivalent of a Christian asking a non-Christian to attend church or pray with them on the premise that they hope to convince them to join it. OP, bring up this analogy with her. She will either understand what she is doing is disrespectful to you or double down. So let me know if you agree with that comment. And also, is the OP a jerk or not for not wanting to participate in his fiance's hobby?